Preparing to live stream. All right. Well, good afternoon. Welcome to our Small Business 101 series interview with our experts. This is going to be a bi-weekly discussion that the Economic Alliance will be hosting to discuss topics such as small business lending, how to start a small business, business formation, accounting for your business, and many more. These sessions will be a short 5 to 10 question interview that we hope will answer some of your most important need to know questions. We will allow for time for questions at the end and encourage you to reach out to the Economic Alliance and/or our industry expert to find out more about any topic that you are interested in learning more about. Today, we will be learning about the upcoming L&I Contractor Training Day and why it is a great opportunity for our local contractors to attend. We are so excited to have Julie Perales, Contractor Training and Outreach Program Specialist with the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries, who will be sharing her wisdom and experience with working with small businesses, not only in North Central Washington, but within the entire state. Welcome, Julie. Can you share a little bit about your background?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me on this program with you. And yeah, I would like to just share that I've been in state service, public service for almost 30 years now, and totally enjoy what I'm doing now. I've been doing contractor outreach for about almost 9 years now. So one of the big events that we do is the Contractor Training Day event. And we do about 9 of these a year throughout the state. So we travel all over. We wish we could get all the areas that we cover, but some of the areas we do rotate every 2 to 3 years, depending on the area. So, but we try to cover as much as we can to be consistent across the state and providing the services that we do.
Great. Well, it sounds like you have a lot of background and knowledge to help many of our local contractors who are looking to access information about this event, your contractor training and outreach programs. Let's get started with the interview. So today we're going to hear about some of the most common questions that Julie hears in her role with working with businesses. For all of you joining us via Facebook Live, please add your questions into the chat box. And if we have time at the end, we will definitely get to them and answer them. So now to our first question. Before we dive deep into the upcoming event, can you share with us a little about the L&I Contractor Training and Outreach Services that L&I offers to small businesses?
Sure. There's a team of us. There's about 3 of us on our team, and we work together with both contractors and the public, providing information regarding contractor registration, how important it is, and that it's a requirement in Washington State. So on the public side, we provide information to let them know that contractors can be checked on, make sure that their file is within the guidelines of the law, and having a bond and insurance and being current at the time that they're doing work for them. So my coworker and I and my team go do home shows. That's where the main audience is for that. And there's a lot of home shows throughout the state. We do about I want to say a good 20 of them between January and end of April. So we're quite busy with those events. And then on the contractor side, we also reach out to them at those events. So that's a good way of reaching out to them and networking with them, letting them know that we do have classes available to help them succeed in their business and make sure that they are abiding by current laws and any updates and changes that are happening. So we're pretty busy with any type of questions that they may have, either about their specific business. And what I love about this is we can range from anywhere from people just starting to think about starting a business, you know, maybe maybe 6 months to a year down the line kind of a thing, or they just started a business just themselves with their spouse or something, and then they got big quite quickly or got busy quite quickly, and then so they have to hire employees. Totally new chapter, so we help them out with that as well at these events. And then we also have some that are seasoned contractors, and they just want an opportunity to network, get to know some of the experts in the industry, as well as any new updates or changes in the law. This is a good way to get a refresher kind of a thing.
Great. All right. Well, now we're ready to discuss this upcoming L&I Free Contractor Training Day. Can you tell us more about this event? And while you're doing that, I'm going to post the link to it in the comment section of Facebook Live.
Sure. So the event, we normally do, like I stated before, about 8 to 9 of them a year. It does, we do like once a month. with the exception of July and August, which is when we find that contractors are the most busiest and can't seem to get them into a classroom setting. We usually visit the larger cities, so it kind of, we invite everyone throughout the county in that city to join us at the event. And we offer anywhere between 20 to 25 different types of classes throughout the day. So it's always on a Friday. So that's our kind of tradition type of a thing. So people know, well, what day is it on? It's always on a Friday. And we start at 8 a.m. and go through till 5 o'clock. Like I stated, we do anywhere between 20 to 25 different classes, but a specific person can only take up to 5 classes. So in other words, during each session, we break it out into 5 different sessions at maximum, and a person can choose from 4 different classes which one best suits them at the time of the event. So the maximum they could possibly do is that. But there are a couple of classes that do bleed into other time periods. So for instance, at the Wenatchee Contractor Training, we're going to have fall protection and ladder safety, which is an all afternoon class. It's a 4-hour class. Very detailed class, very popular class. So that's exciting. And then we also have a gentleman from our agency who does the prevailing wage. And we do prevailing wage and public works. So that class is a 3-hour class. So whenever those classes are happening, they are overlapping when other classes are happening. So we kind of, person has to pick and choose which one do we go to 2 classes or do we just go to 1 class kind of a thing. But they do have the rest of the day to pick a couple of other classes. So there's a variety of different choices. People can stay all day or they can do just 1 or 2 depending on what their schedule is for the day. So we're pretty flexible.
That's awesome. I know right now businesses and contractors are ramping back up again. And so, you know, a lot of them are like prioritizing jobs and those types of things. Can you tell us why it would be important for our local contractors, you know, maybe to put some, you know, to delay a job or do something and make it a point to come to this event? You know, why is it important for them to be there and to get the education that you guys are offering?
First thing that comes to mind for me is that they stay current with everything. You know, it gives them an opportunity that what they don't know, right? So this is an opportunity to see what class topics are out there. Oh, I do need to, you know, refresh myself on that. Oh, I didn't know that existed, you know. So there's laws that change. I wouldn't say all the time, but when they do, it never fails to happen when you didn't know about it. And it's also a good place to network with other businesses. So if you're, you know, really busy, you never know, you could meet someone who happens to do something specific that your business doesn't do. So it's a good way of networking, get you the word out, getting to know. And then for me, getting to know in person some of the experts in that field as far as the presenters and so forth. So it's all around a really good thing. For me, it's just a way for them to improve their business structure, improve their business practices, and be more successful in the state of Washington by following the regulations that's required.
Great. Is there a limit on how many employees from a small business can attend? Sometimes,
No.
I mean, this would be great for, you know, especially general contractors who offer all the different types of specialties, and, you know, maybe 2 can come from this one and 2 could go to that one. You know, is there a limit?
Not at all. We normally send the registration form to the business owner, but anybody and everybody can come. Every time I do get a phone call asking me, oh, can my spouse come or so forth, I said, yeah, bring your mom. You know, anyone that would be interested in learning something. It doesn't even have to be a contractor. The event is called Contractor Training because it is from our program. It is geared towards contractors. But we found through the years, I've been doing this for, like I stated, almost 9 years now, we find that other businesses in the area, once they hear that this event is happening, it's like, well, how come it isn't happening in my industry? They are more than welcome to come and join us. And you'll be surprised on how much the information that is geared towards contractors still can fit some in their business and kind of make sure that it fits, and also be able to follow up with those, especially with state agencies, with those experts of, hey, my business is this, can I still do this, or what do I do? And they can always get referrals and so forth if the question that they have isn't answered at the time of the event.
Great. Well, a follow-up to that is, at the event, So are the people who provide the services in our region, to contractors, are they going to be at the event so that they can network and meet some of these contractors that will be there? Do you know?
It sometimes, I'm not gonna say it's consistently across the state that way. It really all depends on what the workload is at the time that we're having the event in that area. Also the employees that are available, especially when it comes to our specific agency. Like I stated, we try to be consistent across the state with the topics that we cover, but we can't do that 100% and 100% of the time. We do have other, experts in the industry that are not public employees, and so they volunteer their time. And so there are some that can't travel as far with us or have other commitments that come up on the dates that we put out there. So we do try to be consistent and try to get someone either in the region or a core group that travels together. But we provide that information up front at the event. We provide a list of all the presenters that are there so that if there's any follow-up questions, they can direct it specifically to them, and then that particular speaker or presenter can actually refer them back to their regional office or so forth, or someone in that area that can help them a little more closer to home.
That's great. Great to know. I know we used to have local L&I offices, and then it kind of went to the regional offices. And so one of the things that I hear from a lot of local businesses is it's always nice to have, who the name is, the email, and, to make those direct contacts. And I think that, this contract that I have with L&I right now has really, whether it's agriculture, contractors, and across industry, it's been one of the best things about it has been getting faces in front of people so that they know who their contact is, and there's a phone number that I can actually call and they'll pick up, and a direct email address that we can contact, so it's really good to help make those connections. And so it's I appreciate that. Well, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of great sessions available at this contractor training day. Are there any sessions that a construction company can request to have L&I provide directly to their training? And I guess, that could be, say I'm a contractor and I need my staff to be trained in this specific thing. And when I went to your event, I loved it. I fell in love with what you guys were doing, and I want all my staff to be. Is there a way to make that connection or request that be offered?
That's kind of a yes and no answer. When it comes to our agency specifically, there's a yes. Each program that is with us at that core group, so to speak, can spin off and do their own specific topic type class with a specific company or business. I can't speak for the other that help us out because other agencies take care of themselves. For instance, when we were in the pandemic, we stopped doing in-person events. So it's like, what do we do? Well, we have all these events that we've always planned and people are expecting us and this and that. So we reverted to doing webinars. And so those webinars, it was great, but we could only do the topics that pertain to us as an agency. The rest of the agencies took care of their own. So for instance, Department of Revenue joins us for our event because state taxes applies to everybody and every business. So it's very lucrative for us to have them there, and it helps them make sure that the word gets out on what the rules are and so forth. So we're kind of helping each other out. But during the pandemic, they did their own series of webinars on their agency website and so forth. So we didn't have that connection that we do when we do in-person events. And as well as the other associations and attorneys that help us with our event, they do their own thing as well. So I can't really speak for them, but as far as our agency, for sure, we can definitely make that connection with those specific programs and see what we can get going for people. We try to be as flexible as possible.
That's great. I think that everybody is excited to finally, move away from the hybrid and the webinars and actually have that in-person meetings. And, this training day is going to be awesome for people to actually, again, networking is such a huge piece to having an event like this and bringing people together. And, there's something to be said about being aside your peers and other contractors and learning more from them and then from the professionals that are there providing a service and trying to get them the education that they need, especially when it's everything is changing all the time. And it's so important that these businesses have the ability to have access to that. And so I'm excited for in person.
Yes, for sure. I am too. One of the things I really enjoy is at the end of the day, when people start leaving, some of them look like they're dazed because it was such a long day for them. But it's like, well, did you learn something? They go, oh my gosh, this was fantastic. It's like, oh, that's the best pat in the back we could possibly get. Because I love the fact that people did enjoy it. And we do provide materials for them to collect some of the class materials so that they have a one-stop shop in their office so that they can go and review everything and so forth. So it's a win-win.
That is great. That is great. Yeah. Even if they just take one or two things that they can apply towards their business that help them be that much more successful or streamline a service or something, then that's great. My next question is, will individuals who complete the workshops receive hours, or the classes receive any kind of hours or certification that goes towards continuing education or for their cards that they currently have through L&I?
It depends on the industry and the specific topics, and that is pretty much done by whoever's giving them credit. So for instance, if it's we have a class that doesn't travel with us to every event, but is like for mobile home installers. We do have a program set in place that when they do join us, they let their mobile home installers that are certified know that this event is happening in their area. Here's an opportunity to get some CEU credits, and there's a couple of guidelines to follow. And then we have a form for them to fill out and sign and so forth. Same with prevailing wage. The prevailing wage right now for the contractor side of things has a certification that is a requirement in order for them to bid on public work jobs. So as long as they complete the class, at the end of the class, we will collect that information and put it into our database that they have satisfied that certification type of a thing. Outside of that, we do have, like, for instance, the Department of Ecology that gives credits. And so we have a generic form that we fill out, or we have the attendee ask for at the beginning of the day, and they can write down the class, and they go to have the presenter sign them at the end of the class. And so that's something that they can present to Department of Ecology, and it's at their discretion that they give those credits. But yeah, there's definitely a way to at least show proof that they were there, show proof that they were able to have an opportunity to learn something new.
Great. And if a business, for instance, we're a week out, for a little over a week out from this event, and if for some reason a business, if they cannot be able to attend, in our area, the one in Wenatchee is going to be our closest one, and if for some reason they can't make it, is there a way for a business to access the materials and get some of the information that you guys share there, or will they have to go and try to find another event to go to?
We encourage them to go to an event only because the materials, yes, they're helpful. Yes, they're very informational, but a lot of it they get on the actual interaction. Some of the questions that may be asked during the class, there are times there's some people that are pretty shy, but other people are just way out there and just ask every possible question. It's like, oh, I could have asked that question, or oh, wow, I didn't even think of asking that question and I got the answer. So that's what I like about having people come to the event, but they can definitely reach out to myself, Mandy, or my Rebecca, and say that, hey, we weren't able to make it. Can we still get the materials for the class? And we can definitely send it their direction.
Okay. And if for some reason, like I said, if somebody's booked on next Friday and they're not able to attend, but Thursday they suddenly have a clean schedule, can they show up? Do they have to register? Yes. Can they register on Thursday before the event? I know you guys want to get people to register as soon as possible, but
right. So to share with you a little bit, before the pandemic, we would register people up until like the day before so that we can get our roster ready for check-in for the next day. But we definitely welcome walk-ins. There's not an issue with that. We can just do a handwritten registration, and they're on their way to their classes and so forth. So, but we have had, especially since January, we have had where we've met capacity for the classrooms. So we do encourage to register as soon as possible. I can honestly say we'll never really turn you away if you're really at the front door. You've traveled all this way. You've traveled an hour, like for instance, from Okanagan and Omak areas. You've traveled all this way. We're not going to turn you away. We will do everything possible to make sure that we have everyone show, because it's a free event, so people do sign up, they kind of overcommit themselves. I know I have done that in the past. So there are people that don't show up, so those people that are walk-ins can take their place, and it's kind of an even wash kind of a thing. So it works out.
Great. Well, that's good to know, because again, I know that everybody, I mean, it's like everybody's busy, and it's like I talk to them, they're like, we're like double booked. No, we're triple booked. How are we supposed to go to all these things? And it's like, you make it a priority. This is something you're gonna learn. At least send somebody from your staff to be able to go to attend, and then they can get the knowledge and come back and share it with the rest of the employees, just utilizing different strategies. But it's always good to be able to that people know that they have that ability, even if they didn't register, or if it's a last minute thing and they can make it, then it's going to be beneficial to them and their business. All right, and to our final question, can you tell me, how can small businesses and contractors learn more about future events like this and other trainings offered by L&I that would benefit them and their employees?
I think for us, just visiting our website. On a maybe monthly, 6 weeks, quarterly basis to see what's out there. We post all of our classes, both in person and webinars, on our website. And so that is something that they can check out, or they can call us or email us and ask if there's any classes in the area. We try to have those at least listed so that they know what dates we are going to be in the area.
And right now we're looking at your guys' website. And one of the things, a couple weeks ago, we had Celia Nightingale, who's from the Small Business Office. And one of the things that really was an eye-opener for me was the fact that you guys have so many webinars that you guys have pre-recorded that businesses can access about, their accounts, about risk management, about if you're a new business and you want to start a new business, or, what are the steps that you have to go through, and, having, just all your contractor events that you have available. I mean, this is great. And I think that this, building this tool for resources is just amazing for businesses to have. And they can, again, do this on their own time. It's not like they have to go and sign up for a webinar to go to. They actually can get on here on demand and be able to access this information. So that's great.
For the contractor training day, though, unfortunately, we are not at a recording capacity, at least at this time. Different programs for different parts of the agencies do have some recordings available. We even have, I believe, a YouTube channel that has quite a few classes, especially when it comes to safety and so forth. So that's the direction we're going. Unfortunately, not all of us are at the same pace to do those. But I feel where we are now with contractor training days, I love it. I love the fact that people can come in person, be that tangible type of thing. Some people might think, they can't split themselves in 2 and 3 and so forth. And like you stated earlier, need to make it a priority. But like I said, there's always different reasons to attend, something for learning, a great way to network, a great way to learn and talk to real people versus trying to hunt someone down on the phone or by an email and getting the information that they need. At least they've got some accountability there. That's what I like.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And like I said, this is a great program. And I think that, hopefully we'll get a whole bunch of people that end up signing up and want to participate in the event. And Rebecca is showing us basically the steps that you're going through in order to sign up for the Wenatchee Valley College, which is the one that's going to be occurring in our region in Wenatchee next Friday. So we're excited about that. And these are just, again, breaking down the 8 to 950 different classes that you can sign up for.
Yep. So what it is you'll go to our website, and she's showing here, you can see where there's a sign in, and this is where you sign in, doing your last name first, putting in just some basic information of your email, your phone number, and then your class choices. So unfortunately, the program isn't 100% foolproof. There are, for instance, if you were to choose the 12:30 to 5 class, obviously the rest of your day is pretty much booked with that fall protection class. And so you wouldn't be able to choose, and you shouldn't be able to choose the rest of the classes, but unfortunately the program does not flag that. But I will always reach out to you or even the system will say, or make it, well, it'll look funny, that you have these overlapping classes. It's like, which way do you go? But I will definitely try to reach out to you, or even on the check-in day, we will see, you can always ask questions. Well, I signed up for this and this, which one should I go to? So you have a choice opportunity at that point.
And I see that you have the ability here to sign up and check if you want to get your certification or your class hours for your, I think it's underneath what she's clicking on right now.
So like I was stating earlier, the manufactured home installer class, that's the one that you can have an opportunity for it being on the 8 o'clock in the morning class. There's a requirement to take a 10 o'clock class as well in order to meet those 4-hour requirements. You can, like I stated, you can stay all day, but if you only need to meet your requirements because you're such a busy person, but you have to have CEUs for your next renewal, you plan to be there from 8 to noon and you've got that taken care of, kind of a thing. But like I stated, you can also.
And do you have like descriptions of the classes?
Yes.
On your website, or where you can click on them and it gives you there you go, more information.
Yep. It should state it on there what the descriptions are. So it also shows you the map on how to get there. If we have a campus map available. Also, after you register, we will send a confirmation email with all the information about that specific school, what building we're using, and so forth. If there's any changes, we'll also send email updates regarding that. So we're trying really hard to make this as accommodating as possible, because we can get up to 200 people to register for the classes. So getting all that information when we've had this registration out for a couple of weeks is challenging, but it's possible.
Great. Well, I guess my last my final last question for you is, do you have anything else to share that the businesses in our region, I serve Okanagan County, but we do serve a lot of the North Central Chelan Douglas. We partner with them on a lot of different occasions. And so we do have people on our Facebook page that are from there, that you want to share with us about the event, about your programs.
Mainly about the event. The only other thing I would strongly like to share is, I know there's a lot of businesses out there where English is a second language to them. I strongly encourage that if you are in need of an interpreter, or you may doubt that you need an interpreter, I would still encourage you to get one. It is free. There is no obligation or anything to pay up front type of a thing. And I'm the type of person, I would rather you learn it 100% in your native language than to kind of catch 70% of it because you think you know it, kind of a thing, better than the 100% in your language. So we do have interpreters available. We do like to get as much advance notice as possible so that we can coordinate that, make sure that we have enough people or enough of the equipment that we use in order to get have a successful outcome for the attendee. So right now we primarily specialize in Spanish because the majority of Eastern Washington has that as its #1 other language, but other languages as well, Russian, Ukraine, or any other language. As long as we get advance notice, we can make those, coordinate those arrangements in having someone available or a service available at the time of the event.
That's been one of our biggest focuses out here in Okanagan County, because we have a lot of Latino businesses that language has been such a huge barrier that I hired a business outreach specialist who speaks Spanish. And so he's been going out, and a lot of them, were not aware of a lot of the requirements that L&I have. And so it's been a big push for us, and luckily, you guys provide a lot of the resources in Spanish, which help us be able to, make sure that they're, meeting the requirements that L&I have, or posting their information in their break rooms and all of those types of things. But, having it in their own language definitely helps. And then having somebody on staff that speaks Spanish has really helped as well. I always say, I took it in high school, and I really wish, that I would have focused and learned Spanish, because we need it, living out here and working out here. It's something that is definitely a plus to have.
Yes.
And those businesses are just as important as all of the other businesses. And so we need to make sure that we're providing that information for them.
Right, and we also carry publications at these events, so there's a lot of, we have a publication table that people are more than welcome to take everything and anything on the topics that are most interesting to them. And if we have it in Spanish, we will also provide that in Spanish as well, so they can always ask if they don't see something, because everyone took one. We can definitely send it out or go to the website where everything that we have in publication is available online as well. So there is a place on our website where people can download those or just look at them online.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And I just want to remind everybody, because I'll be talking just for a few more minutes, but if you have any questions about this, please let us know and just add it to the Facebook comments and I will answer them. But I just want to again thank Julie for being here today. I know it's a little nerve-wracking, and I get it's a little nervous to begin with, and be interviewed and be on Facebook Live. But this information is so important for our small businesses and our local contractors to have. And a lot of times they don't necessarily see emails or read there, but they might be glancing through Facebook and they see us having this conversation about this event. And so hopefully we'll get the word out to a few more people. Yeah. And I just want to remind our audience to don't forget to check our Facebook page weekly, because we're coming out. We actually have several different upcoming Small Business 101 interviews. We also have several different workshops that we'll be rolling out. Our next one is actually again with L&I, and we'll be meeting to talk about youth employee regulations and requirements and resources. So any of you who want to hire any young people under the age of 18 and you want to learn a little bit more about how to do that, make sure that you sign up for our workshop. And it's going to be held next Tuesday. And then I also want to remind everybody that we also are the sponsor for the Small Business Development Center, and we have a small business advisor, Lou Blakeney, who is here to talk to you about a new business startup. If you are need some assistance or need some advice about your marketing strategy, your budget, your projections in your current business, or if you are looking at selling your business and are looking at a succession plan, give us a call. We offer these services. It's free and confidential, and it's available to anybody in Okanagan County. So again, give us a call. Our phone number is 509-826-5107 to schedule an appointment. And finally, thank you, Julie, for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you. I love the opportunity. And I'm hoping that those of you that are watching, you're able to join us on Friday, March 17th at the Wenatchee Valley College for some free classes. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you.